Hi all, it's Barb coming to you from my living room, sorry, sitting on cat toys. I'm here to talk to you about the Get Organized Challenge. We're going to go over some more of the homework pieces for month 1. I'll be right back. Last time we left off with number 4, so we'll start with number 5, which is determine what type of crafter you are. Tiffany has a blog post about this, but this is about figuring out more where you craft. That way it can help you decide on what type of storage tools you need. Because like I craft at home pretty much exclusively, so the storage I use may not be practical for somebody who only crafts away from home. So Tiffany has, I think, 4 different people. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 of them. There's Kathy Craftroom and her dog Krupp. I just say, I have a cat, I don't have a dog. But Kathy Craftroom has a dedicated space and she only crafts there. Now I will sometimes go other places, but I'm mainly in my craft room if I ever get a craft room done. But then there's Sophia Crops a lot. Sophia has a dedicated space at home, but she also loves to go to crops, classes, events. So she needs some storage. Well, she needs storage that's accessible while she's at home, but that's easy to travel with. Karen Craftabout can be found crafting just about everywhere. Karen doesn't have a dedicated space. She just brings her stuff either to the dining room table, or she goes to events, or she crafts in the TV room with her family, watching TV, whatever she does. She crafts in multiple places. So her storage needs to be very portable and easy to move. And then Mary Mobile Maker only crafts away from home, which again, she needs her stuff very mobile. So it's like, where do you craft? How do you craft? That'll help you determine what storage you need. For instance, let me see if I can find a picture of it. I love Tiffany's desk-made items. I'm just looking to see if I can find a picture of one. No, that's not it. I know there's a picture of them here. Somewhere here. Oh, here they are. I love her desk-made items. They are great if you only craft at home, or even for products that maybe you would only use at home. Because sometimes when you travel, you don't use all of your same supplies. So this is great for supplies that you just use at home because they're visible and accessible. And that's something that the person who doesn't really have a dedicated space, her stuff's probably not going to be as visible. It's just the way it is. But you do want to keep your stuff as visible and accessible as you can. So once you know that, you'll know what type of storage. Now, some of the longtime members get this confused with Gloria got a lot and Nancy not so much. That's about how much you have, how many supplies you have. I used to say when I first started with Tiffany, I was a Millie in the middle because I kind of felt like I was. I'm a Sophie. I'm a Gloria got a lot now. I have a lot of stuff. I don't see it changing anytime soon, but you never know. It could. The next one is to create your themes and sentiments list, which I had kind of touched on this a little bit during the 4-section system, but this is Tiffany's list. Now she highlighted some in colors that had potential to be consolidated. Like she's got baseball, basketball, football, running, soccer, sports, swimming, tennis, track, water skiing. It might be more beneficial to have that under sports with subcategories for those. If you're a one sport family, put it under whatever that sport is. But if you do more than one, it might be better to have the sports and then the subcategories. And my themes are on the back, which I can go over mine a little bit. I did write a blog post where I did share the whole list. One thing I have is a shapes category, but I only use that for cataloging purposes, which we'll get into cataloging once we start working on our tools. But like I have circle punches and dies. Those get represented in my shapes category, but if I've cut things out already or I bought circles or whatever, which sometimes you do, I don't put them there because that category, I'll be honest, it's huge now just using it for cataloging. If I had the other, it would be overwhelming. And odds are, if I want a circle or square or triangle, I may not necessarily know I want that shape. So I'll go to my color catalog, my color section of my themes first and look and see what I have there. And then if I can't find what I want, I'll flip to my shapes category and say, okay, this shape will work, and I can just cut that out of whatever color paper I want. One thing I have in my rainbow section is I have a multi-clear section, which, yes, I put multicolored things in there if I can't decide what color to put it under, and I put clear items in there, but I also put things like chipboard or those clear items that you can color, because I can make them any color I want. So that way I train myself to look there, especially if a lot of times I will flip to the color I know I want. If I don't find what I want, I flip to my multi-section color and see if there's something there that I can just make the color I need. And I'm going to say with your themes and sentiments, don't stress over this too much. Think about making your list. This is to help you with sorting. Think about, what do you craft about? Do I make, like, if you make cards, okay, I do birthday cards, I do Christmas cards, I do Easter cards, you know. I actually have a card section. Now I have birthday separate because I've used birthday for more than just cards. I use it for scrapbooking and other projects. But I have a card section for things like get well, thank you, that I wouldn't normally have as its own category. So I have subsections for those in my card thing. And I also use it to catalog my card dies. You know, sometimes you have dies or other tools. Like I have some of my punch boards I think I might use a lot in my cards. So like my mini alphabet one, I think I put that there. But just to kind of give you an idea. So think about what you craft about, make your themes list. Now as you're sorting, you may discover, oh, I have a lot of this. I didn't even think about that. Well, just make another category for it. Or you may discover, you know what, I really don't have any of that. You can omit it. Your themes and sentiments are not written in stone. You can add to them, you can delete from them, you can consolidate. And honestly, for most of us, they're going to change over time. I know what I craft about now isn't the same as when I started crafting, because when I started crafting, my kids were little. They're all adults now. They're all grown up. So the crafting's different, and I don't take a few before pictures. If I think about it, I will try to insert pictures of what my studio looks like that's being built, and I should take a few pictures of the temporary one with just all the boxes stacked, so that hopefully we can see at where I progress as we go. But those before pictures can help you see that you are making progress. Things are getting better, so they're important. And hey, if you scrapbook, maybe you'll want to do a scrapbook layout of how your craft room changed by doing the challenge. Gather your supplies together into one room or space. Important, especially for first timers. That is as far as we get in sorting during this first topic. We don't start sorting paper, we don't start sorting our embellishments or anything. We just are getting ourselves and our space ready for what we're going to do. Now normally you have 1 week to do all this stuff. I decided to go a month per topic because I thought we could get more done that way, and with Tiffany being on her year-long excursion, I figured I was safe in going with a year challenge. But I would suggest maybe if you have the time and the space, that's an important one, you look at the monthly list and you sort your stuff based upon those topics. So try to keep all your paper in one area, your embellishments in another, your photos in another. But that's not vital. The most vital thing to know is where is your paper. Try to at least gather your paper into one space. I actually think I'm going to make this a homework piece each month to gather the stuff for the next month. Does that make sense? So like this month we're gathering paper. Next month, one of the later homework things will be to gather your photos together, because we'll start sorting photos in April. March will be paper, April will be photos. That's kind of as far as we're going to, like I said, that's as far as we're going to go for sorting. This is just kind of mentally preparing yourself and physically preparing your space so that you're ready to start sorting come March. This next one is set your purge goals. Tiffany highly recommends making a commitment to purge items. Get a purge box, which if you do scrapbooking in like 12 by 12, your box should be big enough to hold 12 by 12 supplies. I use the calyx cubes for a lot of in my craft room. I don't use too many of the bins because I find they don't work. For me, they don't. For some people, they work wonderful. Not saying you can't use them. I'm just saying for me, they don't work because I end up tossing things in there and it's chaos. It looks nice from the outside, but it's chaos once you open a bin. So I don't like those oversized bins for that reason. They're fine for larger things. I think at one time I might have had some of my yarn in there, which that wasn't so bad to have it, and I could kind of set it upright so you could see all the colors when you looked in. But you need to have a purge bin. First, you might want a larger location because you might be saying, okay, I'm going to purge more during each of these months that are coming up. Misty's getting on camera here. But let's see, what else was there here to do for purging? I'll tell you, you can either have a set amount for your purging. You can say, I have a big box. Say, I'm going to fill this box, or even a small box. I'm going to fill whatever size box this is. I'm going to purge an inch or a foot of supplies for every year I've been crafting. Hi, Misty. I've actually had my purge goal be this. Would I buy this now? If I'm like, no, I wouldn't buy that, then I can probably safely get rid of it. And that's kind of been my thing. Decide where your purge is going to go. I won't touch on selling places. Most of us know places to sell. We know where and how to do that, or at least where to do it. I won't touch on that because I don't want anybody coming back on me saying, oh, I took your recommendation and I used, and this went horrible. I don't want somebody doing that. And somebody would. Sadly, that's just the way the world is nowadays. Somebody would do that. So I'm going to say, find a place to donate your purge. I did write a blog article on places within the group that people had suggested in the past that maybe could. I will say this. Schools are a good place, but you're better to either contact a teacher you actually know and say, would you want any of this stuff, or do you know a teacher who might want some of this stuff? Because sometimes, maybe if they don't, maybe they would know somebody who does. If you just blindly call the school, it's better to ask for somebody specific. I would say, ask, do you have an art teacher that I could speak to? And ask the art teacher if they would want your supplies. Because I can almost guarantee you that if you ask a teacher, you're going to get a yes, whereas if you ask the office, they're going to tell you, no, we don't take that stuff. Well, you don't think you take that stuff because the teachers are buying that stuff. So try to talk direct to a teacher if you can, if you go with a school. But, there's Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops. I'll say most of us probably know, either personally know a teacher or know somebody who knows a teacher. So, that one's a really good source for most people. One of Tiffany's rules, and I will state it here, if you know something doesn't work, do not sell it to somebody and do not donate it to somebody. Throw it away or recycle it, whatever the case may be. But don't pass your aggravation onto somebody else. Evaluate your space and tools. You want to try to keep things as visible and accessible as possible. Now, this isn't always possible, but for most of us, out of sight is out of mind. I know the things I don't see, I don't use as well. If I see things every day, I tend to get them out and use them. If I have them tucked away somewhere, I don't. Now, the exception to this for me is like seasonal supplies or very specific crafting items like diamond dots. Well, I don't want all that diamond stuff just sticking out, so I have a place where I keep all of that. It's labeled. I know it's there. So, and that's the important part. If you can't keep things visible, label, 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 label. Can't stress that enough. I've seen these beautiful craft rooms we've all seen them on Pinterest, YouTube, whatever. And they got all these bins and doors and everything's hidden. And I mean, it looks great. But I'm thinking, none of those doors have any type of labeling on them. I think it's highly doubtful they remember what's behind each, especially when they have a really large space. I don't think you know what's behind those. And all the bins are identical. Now, I know a few people who use a lot of bins and boxes, but they also use ones that are decorative, so they kind of fit the theme, like they have Christmas boxes for their Christmas stuff. Well, they know what's in that. But if all your boxes are the same, do you really remember what's in all of those? Label. Label. It may not look as pretty, but it's going to be a lot easier. Because how many times have you done this? Because I know I used to before I had things organized. I know I have that. I can't find it. I'm just going to buy another one the next time I'm out shopping because I don't know where it is. I think we've all done it. So just try to do that. Tiffany also likes to always tell us, keep together what you use together. If you have a stamp and die set that go together, store them together so that you don't have to say, okay, that stamp's over here, now the die is over here. Just put them together and keep them there because you use them together. And the same can be true of other things that, you know, if there's certain supplies, and I can't think of a set example right now, that I only use that when I use that, at least keep them next to each other so that you don't have to search for one or the other or both. And remember, you don't necessarily have to go out and buy all new storage. You don't have to buy new furniture. If you are planning to do that anyways, great. Think of these things ahead of time. But you can also just use what you have, even if it doesn't really fit the visible and accessible. But maybe you can use it different than you're currently using it to make it work better for you. And this is something else I always try to tell people is, don't stress about it, about some of this stuff. Just kind of make a decision, go with it. If you're not sure you feel like a certain type of storage, maybe try using what you have to kind of, maybe not exactly copy it, but kind of get the same type of use out of it to see if that's going to work for you before you invest in it. But I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, but you know what? You see what I'm going for. But also, when you're going through this challenge, try Tiffany's way first. I can't stress that enough. You may think that is not going to work. No, I've done that. But I finally just said, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. I'm just going to do it the way Tiffany recommends. Have I left everything 100% the way Tiffany does it? No. But I can say that Tiffany's way led me to the way I do it now. Usually with just a few small tweaks that, okay, if I did it just slightly different, I think it would work better for me. But I don't think I would have discovered what worked for me if I hadn't tried Tiffany's way first. She really has thought all of this out and through. So that's my advice, is to try to do it Tiffany's way first. And then if after a while it's just not working, switch it. Because you've probably learned then why it's not working. So you would know maybe what to do that would work. And then the other thing to think about here is, what do you use the most? There's certain tools that you use every time. I use my scissors, my rulers, and a couple of favorite pens every time I craft. Those need to be right next to you. Now, some people use their Cricut every time they craft. Well, then your Cricut needs to be really close to your workspace. If you only use that occasionally, you can put it somewhere else. I am going to suggest here, if you can, put that Cricut, if you can't have it right next to you, put it on a cart that has wheels so that you can pull it over to you. It's so much easier just to wheel that over than to lift up that machine and carry it over, especially if you're like me and you have chronic pain. That's as far as I've gotten on in the group. That's numbers 5 through 10. So I think I will stop there, and then I'll do one more video with 10 through 14. Or no, it's actually 15 because I didn't write number 15 down. But I'll do 10 through 15 in the next video. But who's participated? There's still time to join. Honestly, this first month, like I said, is a lot of prep about how the system works and what you need to do. So, and during a normal challenge, we only have a week for it. So I think a week is plenty of time if you're just joining in to try to get these things done. Having a month was wonderful, but you really only need that week. I still need to finish trying to get my list together. I've started it because for me, a lot of it is I'm trying to make a list of the things that I want to purchase for my craft studio, because I don't know if we can see any here. Maybe if I turn just slightly over there. See the cubes over there? I gave a lot of my cube units to my daughters to use throughout the house, and they're using them, so I'm not going to take them back. That wouldn't be very nice of me. We do use them for decor and stuff. So there's 2 of those Calyx units back here just behind the desk, which they really like that because it gives them a place to sit their drinks and stuff as they're sitting here watching TV. But the cookbooks and some of the appliances are there because the kitchen's just back there. So it kind of isn't, the kitchen is a nice size, but it doesn't have a lot of storage. So having those other appliances close by, but out of the way, was kind of nice. You will find if you really get into Tiffany's method that you start applying it throughout other areas of your house, because guilty, but I am enjoying it. I did hear from a friend the other day, we were talking about GOC, who heard from Tiffany, and she says she wants to call you, or she's going to call you, and I'm like, I don't think Tiffany has my number. So I passed my number on to her, and she's going to pass it on to Tiffany. But anyways, that's all I've got to share today. I want to thank you for joining me. I'll catch you next time.